It is election time, or almost election time when I'm putting this video up. So I decided to keep things fun and interesting and relevant by doing a Trump versus Harris quiz. So basically, I feel like I am, for better or for worse, I am basically the typical Midwestern guy. I grew up born and raised in Illinois, so I feel like I'm in tune basically with the Midwest. Now, of course, Illinois is going to Harris. It's a very liberal state. Probably one of the most liberal states in the union. But I go a lot to Wisconsin. I get people from Wisconsin. Even though there's a whole rivalry between Illinois and Wisconsin. But I feel you guys. So I feel like I'm a good representation of the average Midwest. So I'm going to take this quiz and see where I line. Should I vote for Trump or should I vote for Harris? And this, of course, is not going to benefit my voting rights or who I'm going to vote for. This is more just for fun. And this quiz I'm taking is from idrlabs.com. I'll throw a link in the description so you can go ahead and take it as well. Now, before anyone gets upset, you're like, oh, you should vote for Trump, you should vote for Harris. I didn't even vote in the election last year. So, and I'm still debating whether or not I'm going to be voting for a president this year. No one ever really got me going the way kind of Obama did for people when I was a kid. There hasn't been another Obama since Obama. But let's get to it. And again, I'm the most milquetoast political guy you would ever meet. So this will be fun. So question 1 on the Harris or Trump test. Businesses with large race or gender imbalances should be mandated to hire more women or minorities. This is a hard question right off the bat. I'm going to put disagree with it. I don't think there should be mandates on who you can and cannot hire. I don't think you could fire someone for a race or fire someone or not hire someone because they're a woman or minorities. To me, my views on this is we got to fix the root issue, which in my opinion is the vast quality difference between people in white neighborhoods and people in black neighborhoods. And we can do that by fixing the funding and encouraging teaching into the more neighborhoods that are not as well off. And we can encourage that by doing a student loan forgiveness, partial student loan forgiveness if you decide to teach in a poorer rural or urban development. Again, I don't know if this is actually a thing or not, if someone's already thought about this, but this is my idea. So give me credit and vote for me. So I'm going to disagree with that. Oh, where's my mouse? There it is. America should cut back on its industry to help combat climate change. I have to disagree with this too. I think climate change is one of the biggest issues that we have, especially as a younger person who's going to be affected by it a lot. But I don't know if we should cut back on industry. I think we should encourage more green spending. We need factories. We need jobs. We need to bring those back to America. But at the same time, we have nuclear power. We can encourage the use of that. We have all this space. I see there's tons of wind power and solar power. So you can put that in more places. So America should accept more refugees from war zones around the world. I have to agree with this. I definitely don't think there's that big of a problem with the refugees and stuff. I get why. There's a huge homeless problem that we need to solve. But we can also help the refugees while we're helping the homeless. And we can do that by building a crap ton more housing and a crap ton more high density housing, especially around here. Like I said, I grew up in Illinois. I grew up in the suburbs. Things are definitely changing. They're building way more apartments. Specifically, I've noticed they're building apartments with stores on the bottom because I know that's being a big thing, so that way the city gets revenue from their restaurants and also get revenue from the people living there. So I know that's more of a help the city type thing, but I think it'll also help us, along with better public transportation. Again, I feel like I have the most basic opinions ever. Labor unions are un-American, need to get out of the way of business. I disagree. I think a lot of the benefits we do have are based on the unions, such as the 5-day work week and stuff like that. Compassion for those in need are one of the most important qualities a U.S. president can have. Agree, 100%. I think both Trump and Harris would agree with that. I don't think either side are necessarily monsters as they're portrayed in the media. I definitely disagree with a lot of them. I definitely disagree with one of them more than the other, but like I think both of them, at least in the wants America to be better. I think everyone just has a different idea of how to do that. We need a balanced budget amendment. Congress can't keep piling up debt. Agree 100%. They need to cut back on that spending. People who make bad decisions and fail should be allowed to suffer their consequences. I kind of agree with this. My problem with... So I definitely think that people should cover the consequences of their actions. But if they have kids, like, they should be... The children should be supported. So, like, I definitely believe, like, children should 100% have free medical care. They should have free dental care. They should have free vision. Every kid in America should have that. Whether or not you believe that Medicare for all should extend to, like, adults over the age of 18 is up for a debate. But I definitely think we need to take care of the children more. And I definitely would vote for someone who's, like, Medicare for all those under 18, because we need to protect those. We need to protect our children. Policies in the U.S. are single out African Americans for abuse. I don't know. This one's I feel like I'm in the middle for this one. I definitely know there are some states. I think there's definitely some states that are doing it and some cities. I'll vote agree. I definitely think there's states that are doing it. I don't know if the federal government is doing it exactly, but I assume there's some states like, Oklahoma and stuff that are pushing a lot more racist things. Again, this is coming from someone who's never been to Oklahoma. So if that's wrong, please educate me in the comments. Like I said, and if I am wrong about any of this stuff, let me know. Because, like I said, I know about politics. I know about politics the same way an average American would know about politics. So it's not that much. Again, I feel like I'm a good representation for the average American. The government should keep expanding gay rights until they're completely the same as the rights of heterosexuals. I agree with that, yeah. I think gay people should be able to marry, they should be able to adopt, which they already can. So I don't know what other rights they need, but yeah, I don't think they should have any negative rights than straight people. The traders on Wall Street make their taking advantage of little guy. I agree, yeah. Yeah, Wall Street, that's probably my big strong opinion is I definitely think we need to focus in on providing support for small mom and pop businesses who are run and supported by the local community. Like if you spend your money on Target, it's going all the way back to Target Corporation. If you support the small local businesses, that money's staying within your community, and that person then spends it in another local restaurant. That local restaurant could spend it on employees, and they basically build up like the community versus like just giving money to a big fat corporation that just goes into some dude's pocket. Like, support your local community. And that's why one thing like I love, like, support local small restaurants, especially since a lot of time their food is way better. Like, I've been to McDonald's recently. McDonald's is charging like almost $14 for a cheeseburger, fry, and drink. I can go to a local, like Chicago, the Chicagoland area, like I can go to a local like Euro shop that's ran by like a Greek immigrant with like a super thick accent. He's like 60 years old and have the best burger of your life, great fries, drink, from a sketchy little fountain. But hey, it's still safe. You can get all that for $12. Why would I buy McDonald's? America has gone too far for being too tough on crime. I have to disagree. I definitely think we should be tougher on crime, especially with a lot of the cities like Chicago, San Francisco. Like, a lot of times crime isn't being, like, tracked. Like Amazon packages, if someone steals an Amazon packages, the cops do nothing. I was also reading on the news that there are like thousands of like unprocessed like rape kits. Like they need to process those, and we need to lock up the rapists, the thieves. We need to throw them all in jail. Yeah, I definitely think we're not being tough enough on crime. The market naturally rewards winners and punishes losers. I agree. Yeah. Like if your restaurant is bad, you're not going to survive considering there's so many great restaurants. Like that's the market. I definitely disagree with the whole concept of too big to fail. Like if we have something that's too big to fail like Boeing, then that just means we need to have like 3 or 4 companies making these airplanes, not just one. The US military is a force for good in the world. I'll leave it right in the middle. They have tons of controversy. They've done so much bad things, but I also know that we've done so much great things for the world, including like the stuff in Ukraine, like happening now. Like we're doing good with Ukraine. I know that there's like a lot of military force that do things like go to poor countries and teach children. Like we support that. Granted, there's been a lot of controversies, a lot of essays happen. A lot of times, like there was a girl in the military who was caught on fire or something after she was raped, and like we didn't investigate. So there's a ton of issues with the military, but they also do a ton of good. So I'm just keeping it right in the middle. People should be allowed to keep more of what they produce, even if others have greater needs. I agree, yeah. I definitely think that you should give a lot, but you should also keep if you do good. Like I believe in donating a lot. I believe in higher taxes for everybody. Like what is it? 52% of Americans don't pay taxes, and I don't care if it's because they're poor. They should have to pay something to feel the pain. Like if you're poor, like even if you pay 1%. That 1% being like, hey, my money's being spent by 1%. Let me care about what Congress is doing because they're spending my money. Right now, if like 52% of people don't pay any federal taxes, then that's like the issue. And I think it's federal taxes on like income. It's not like pay any taxes at all, not including state and stuff. I'm just talking about the federal income tax, which is what I think that study was referencing. Islamic terrorism is a bigger concern than whether America is discriminating against Muslims. I don't know when the last Islam attack was in America. I don't know when the last time that happened, so I'm going to disagree with that. I definitely... And again, I grew up in, the Chicagoland area. There's a lot of... There's some mosques. I know quite a few people who are Muslim, and they're great people. I actually know people who are Muslim who are super liberal. Granted, they're like second generation. They're not like fresh off from like the Middle East or from Africa. So, and I know there's like the whole Nation of Islam thing, which is also kind of big in this area. And I know there's some like weird kind of like beliefs in that area, but from what I've seen from the people I've known, they're pretty nice and cool. It's not kind of like Mormonisms in that case. Like, there's definitely some like questionable beliefs, but the people themselves are super nice. So they get a thumbs up. As long as you're nice, I don't care what you believe in. As long as you're nice and you don't discriminate against others and don't want to hurt people, you're good in my book. Again, most milquetoast opinion in the world. I will always be proud of America no matter what. I strongly disagree. No one is below criticism. Those who are successful should be allowed to keep more than what they earned. I've already answered this. Like, what? The United States has meddled too much in the affairs of other countries. I agree, yeah. There's some things that we should... I know a lot of it is for the safety and security of America. But also, like, do we need, like, stations in Germany? No, that's just kind of money we're paying for. We don't need all these stations in Europe. And likewise, they don't really need stations in America, so or military bases, or whatever they call them. We should work to further decriminalize drugs. I agree. I definitely think weed should be legal. Things like coke should be legal. I definitely think there's a lot of things that should be legal, with the strong caveat that you're someone who doesn't get addicted, who isn't addicted to the substance. Like, if you're addicted to weed, I think we should definitely have support groups without people, and maybe even support those support groups by the taxes on the weed. So that's my belief. More of the federal budget should be used to help those who are suffering. Yeah. I think we should cut back on the budget a lot, but we should still keep some of the funding and increase the funding for those who are suffering. Hate speech should not be legal. I disagree. Because who determines what's hate speech? What's hate speech to me is different than hate speech for you. Like, I'm an atheist. Like, and I know in some super religious circles, being like, God damn it, is like blasphemous. Saying God damn it is super bad and super offensive to them. But for me, that's just regular verbiage. Like, again, I'm an atheist. I don't believe in God. So if I say God damn it, it's not a big issue. So what is hate speech to one person isn't hate speech to another. The government should set a cap on the wages of bankers and CEOs. No, I disagree. People should be allowed to own guns. Strong agree. America's a Christian nation. I disagree, because even some of the founding fathers weren't really religious. I know it was like, what, Jefferson like made his own Bible. He basically just took like the teaching of Jesus and throughout the rest of it, just so you understand the moral of the Bible. And the Bible has some great morals in it, but that's not exclusive to Christians. I mean, we're the melting pot, we have a lot of Buddhists. I see so many Hindu churches around here, especially like around here in Chicagoland. And, they have every right to believe in whatever they believe, and they should be supported in their beliefs. Like, if you're Islam, like, you should be able to enjoy America. Granted, I don't think your religion should affect how people like me who are atheists should live, but you have every right. What was the quote? I don't agree with what you're saying, but I'll defend your right to say it with my life. Is that Patrick Henry or someone like that who said that? I don't know, but like, I definitely believe that that's a great saying for something like this. Pharmaceutical companies should be allowed to fast track experimental and unproved cures. No. Why would you agree with that? Wealthy should be taxed more. Yeah, I agree. So here's my results. Harris or Trump. As far as morality, I am the closest to Harris. So this is where it looks like. So empathy, I'm like right in the middle between Harris and Trump. Markets, I'm closer to Harris. Heritage, I'm exactly like right on top of Harris. And then freedom, I'm right up there with Trump. And I feel like this is typical American. Like, we love our freedom, but we're also pretty empathetic. We believe in the freedom of markets, but we believe in our heritage as Americans. Like, this is something like I feel like, again, I align with the basic Midwestern kind of, you live your life, I live my life, and I'll support you and help out when you can, but just don't hurt my life and don't make other people suffer, and, everything will be cool. So again, this is the opinions of the most milquetoast American you could ever believe in. Like, I've watched these, like, Jubilee, conservative versus Democrat debate, and I'm watching, I don't agree with either of you. Either of you guys are just like, and I know they do that on purpose. They pick the most extreme people from both sides, because otherwise it wouldn't be entertaining. But I feel like the vast majority of us, the 80% of us who are like right in the middle, we're just chilling. So yeah, empathy. Those with higher beliefs has a score that prize highly. Okay, so these are just more information. Oh, see, this is hang on. This is interesting. Explanation of factories. Those who with higher empathy scores believe that the government has a moral obligation to take care of those who are vulnerable. Those with lower scores might also care for the vulnerable, but do not prize as highly as ranking the many jobs the government has to do. Those with a higher market score believe that people should be allowed to keep what they earn, and the market naturally rewards productive actions. Heritage, those with high heritage would be proud of America's history, values, and American traditional way of life. See, I think I'm more proud of America's history. Like I said, we've done a lot, but again, I don't think we're above criticism. Freedom, those with high freedom scores feel that individuals should not be allowed to control or restricted actions by state, as long as they are not danger to others. Again, who believes that, like, no, you should be restrictive even if you're not being a danger to others? I mean, I know there's people exist, but we're like, really? So, yeah, that's it. So I guess I'm closer to Harris in most things than I am with Trump. But I'm pretty good. Pretty in the middle, I think. So, guys, that's it for today's video. This is pretty fun and interesting. I know this debate's going to be this election's going to be a huge deal, and I know if you are personally affected, like if you're trans or if you're black or if you're, these types of vulnerable people, this is more of a worry than someone who's like milquetoast like me. But either way, I think it's important to take a deep breath and just kind of think of how far we've come in all this, like in such a short time. Like, believe like my grandma, who, my mom, I'm a quarter black, my mom's half black. My grandma married someone who was black before it was fully legal in all of America. Like it used to be like white and black couples were not allowed to be together, interracial marriage, like all that stuff was banned. And now it's like no one bats their eye. Like, same with the gay people. Like, when I was growing up, people would say, like, the F word, the cursive F word, as they call it. Like, and now, I don't hear that word anymore. And I think people are very okay with people who are gay. Like, we've come so far, and we're going to continue to progress further. But at the same time, like, we do need to focus in on things that are important. For me, every individual should and has the right to be, happy. But at the same time, there are these lots of obstacles that I think we do need to take a step back on and inspect. Namely, for me, mainly it's infrastructure. Like, our roads are terrible. I think we've been underfunding like our roads and infrastructure and bridges for decades. And like our trains, like there was all these train derailments, and like most of these train lines haven't been like properly maintained since like the 40s and 50s. Like, it's insane. Like, we need to take care of our infrastructure, and I think that should be the big main focus like 70% on infrastructure and then 30% on like social justice and stuff, because that infrastructure issues affect everyone in America. That's my belief. I believe that definitely, yeah. Again, this is the most basic milquetoast. Like, everyone should be happy, everyone should like each other. That's not reality, even though me, an idealist, definitely think that we are heading towards that in the future. So that's it for my political rants. If you are holding your breath for this election, let out a sigh, relax, focus, and get angry on election night. But until then, just look back, realize that, dang, we've came all this far away. Yes, we can backslide, but we will continue to push forward, because that's what really we Americans do. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. Subscribe to the YouTube channel for new videos every single week. Follow me on Twitter and Instagram at TrueJackShank. Lastly, thank you so much for watching. If you want to improve your life, you can't do it alone. You can only improve together.